Let's see here. I forgot to pull up the camera before I got started. This is going to take a second. Give me just a second here. This should be working. Let's see. Any second. Okay. Let me make sure I'm live before I walk out of the room and play that. I forgot how to do it. Let's see here. Me. I'm not sure if I'm live or not. I might be live. Let's see here. How do I know if I'm live? I can't find it on my, trying to find it on my phone. Let's see. I hope I'm live. It should say that I am, but it's not saying that I am. Let's see here. If I can't see it, I don't know if I'm live. I think I am. I'm so terrible with technology. I should probably just quit while I'm ahead. Oh, come on. Where are you at? Every time I come on here, it's like right there. Let's see. Isaiah 53 called me yesterday. Promised a video. Still waiting for that. Said I gave him some good ideas on how to scream out a video, so I'm kind of looking forward to that. Yeah, I don't see it. Am I live? How do I know? View all. Going live. I'm talking about going live, but that's history. I don't know how to find it. View channel. Oh, I am live. Hold on. Oh yeah, it's working. Okay. All right. So, lately, and it's happened to God's Lad Down Under as well, when we make a video, it's not uploading the volume. I'm going to show you. I'll go to my iCloud account where the video uploads. That's why I had to wait for it to upload to iCloud. And then I play it from there, and it has audio. I don't know what's going on with YouTube and why the audio doesn't come across, but I'm going to go and I'm going to play it, and then I'll be in the chat room live with you guys here in a moment. Let's see here. I guess I could wait for a moment until it catches up. I would love to do a live with Commander Kelly. The guy's research is amazing. Let's see here. So anyway, I found a detail, and that's God keeps putting these details in the Bible, and they're gems. They're really gems, or like Commander Kelly says, they're gold, and you have to dig them out and find them. Well, in Haggai, where we've all been going through, in this video I show you one of those hidden gems, and prove it, of course, by the Word of God, which is what we must do. So it is Sunday at 4:18 in the afternoon here in Florida. So did you guys see my reading of Luke 10 for Dr. Barry? That was fun. I did that like early on before I think the first one came out, and I wish I had done like commentary. I just read the thing, but there was a lot of juice in there, like Commander Kelly says, and I would have liked to do a little more explanation. Spinebreaker did a good job on his. I've seen it. I think he comes. Is he out tomorrow? He might be out tomorrow. I'm not sure. So hindsight 2020. All right, I'm going to go ahead and play the video, and then afterwards I'll come back for a little while and we'll chat. I didn't want to start it before everyone got in here that was going to get in here. We're at 300, so and I'll be back on right after the video. Let's see here. We got to be careful here not to hit the wrong button. And I think we're right here. Now, I can't do anything about the screen. People would be asking me about this. And if I enlarge, it actually gets smaller, which is weird. So when I do this, I don't know how to make it any bigger. Nope, I can't do it that way. I don't know how to make this any larger. It doesn't go any larger than this. So, but anyway, yeah, that's as big as I can get the screen. Sorry about that. That's the only thing that holds me back. Is that all right? Here we go. I'm going to play this, and I'll be back. All right, YouTube, Repo Man 64. What's happening? I want to explain something right up front. I left Commander Kelly's chat group not because of anything he did. He's awesome, and I will support and promote his channel all the time. The guy's an amazing researcher. But somebody made a comment in there. It wasn't bad. It was just a comment that made me feel like I was in his chat group trying to promote or push any ideals that I might have. And I got to thinking, I'm like, you know what? I knew a guy about 4 years ago that did a similar thing to me, tried to use my channel for his gain, and I didn't like it. And I don't want to be that guy. So I just left. It's just the clapper. I'll always be there on his lives, commenting, just like everybody else in public. But in his private channel there, I'm going to let him deal with his subscribers there, and I'll deal more with my own Discord. And so, again, it wasn't really anything bad. I'm not upset at all. My conscience got a hold of me and said, I don't want to be that guy to impose myself onto anything he's teaching, because the Holy Spirit guides us. I don't guide Commander Kelly. I don't guide Dr. Barry. I don't guide God a Minute or Bob Barber or any of the other channels. I don't guide anyone. I just do my thing. I always have and firmly believe that the Holy Spirit has guided me into this timeline. And the more they get into, and I've noticed a lot of calendars popping up, the more they get into the research of Enoch, they're like, wait a second. Kislev 24 is December the 8th, and the last day of Hannukah, Tevet 1, is December the 16th. And they're seeing this, and I just happened to see it early on, a few years ago. And so just wanted to clear the air. Love Commander Kelly. I will always be there in his lives. I just think it's best that he runs his group, and I'll run mine. And his people obviously are awesome, and they will always be loyal to him, which is fantastic. I completely agree with that. And again, the Holy Spirit guides us. He doesn't guide me. I don't guide him. As we go through this, again, puzzle pieces. I have a puzzle piece. He has a puzzle. He might have 3 or 4 puzzle pieces. Dr. Barry has a double puzzle piece. Aaron at God a Minute has a puzzle. We all have these pieces of the puzzle. When we get to heaven, we're going to put those pieces of puzzle together, and it probably comes up to a picture of Jesus. So, all right, got that out of the way. Nobody's upset. No problem. Just I feel the way it has to be. All right, so let me get into the pictures and show you what I found, because I did find something. And this was actually the question that I posed in there, and I think it's valid. I think it's a valid question. And let me go to the pictures. Whoops, wrong picture. That's a picture I'm going to use on the front, on the cover. Where are we at right now? On the Enoch timeline, beginning of the year, on the day of equal parts, which is March 16th, March 17th being the first day, just doing a straight count. The sun comes up, and you give it a date. And the next day the sun comes up, and you give it a date. And it just keeps doing that. We know that the flood occurred, according to everyone, including the people that are a month out. It occurred on October the 31st. I don't know of anybody that's saying the flood is beginning on November the 31st or December. They're not going a month out on the flood. They're all looking at that. Well, if you do, you have to obey the Bible and go 150 days from there. And if you did that from the flood, which is, where is it at? Right here on Halloween. It's actually November the 1st. Remember, I run into this one-day problem. I think I'm going to have Sister Sandy fix it and call Chishri 1 September 15th and September 16th, and then every date after that will just go up one day because, quite frankly, it begins at nightfall. It gets confusing when I try to explain it. I just, like Heshvan 17 is actually November the 1st. You know, Halloween's celebrated at night. Everybody goes out at nighttime. And God, when he created everything, he started creating at nightfall. He didn't begin creating at sunrise. He said, and the night and the day were the first day. He starts his day at nightfall. He does not start it at sunrise, high noon, midnight. He starts it at nightfall. So that part gets a little confusing when trying to explain it. But if you count from Halloween, look up at the top here. If you count from Halloween and you go 150 days, you'll land on the cross. You have to land on the cross. You must always land on the cross. And in the 7th month and 17th day is 153 days to resurrection, which is the 3 days after the cross. It all fits. It's perfect. It doesn't move. It doesn't budge. The calendar is more solid than the Gregorian calendar. The Gregorian calendar moves a day each year. The Enoch calendar does not. Jesus always went to the cross on a Wednesday. Jesus always went to the cross. My grandson's in there making noise, lots of noise. Jesus went to the cross on a Wednesday. Creation began on a Wednesday. I'm sorry, on Sunday, and on Wednesday is when he created the sun and the moon and the stars. So, I get it. He's in there laughing at something he's watching. But he's playing with the dogs. Okay. So anyway, here we are. Jesus on the cross, 150 days after the flood. Perfect. March 30th. Jesus' anniversary to going to the cross will always be Nisan 14. It will always be March 30th. All right. All that being said, where are we at right now? We are right here. Kislev 24 is December the 8th, not the 7th. It starts at December the 7th at nightfall. It is December the 8th, and if you go 4 days to Kislev 28, I guess I have that wrong on here too. I have to fix that. But Kislev, how many days are in Kislev? Let me see something. I just found a mistake. And I do, as I go through the timeline each year. Yeah, there's 31 days in Kislev. I made a mistake. So that would be Kislev 28 or December the 11th. So we've already gone, let's see, this is the 10th. Tomorrow's the 11th. So yeah, as of tomorrow, we'll have gone 4 days past Kislev. And I know all the research that's been done in the Bible on Kislev 24. It's written right there. The date comes up 7 times. And I'm going to show you something, how God words things as to why it appears that we've gone past, but we actually haven't. So he's in there cracking up. So the flood ends on Kislev 28, December the 11th. That is tomorrow. Then on Tevet 1, the 4th month and the 1st day, Adam was removed from the garden. You find this in the book. I don't know if it's the Legend of the Jews or Book of Enoch or Jasher. I don't recall which book it is, but it says that God removed him from the garden on that day lest he eat of the tree of life and live forever. This is also the last day of Hannukah. It's almost like God was allowing him to stay in the garden. As a matter of fact, Adam, from the day he sinned on November the 1st, October the 31st, 47 days later, he is removed from the garden on Tevet 1. So he was in the garden for 7 years and 47 days. That's how long he was in the garden. And removed on Tevet 1, which is December the 16th. It's the last day. Hannukah ends, of course, at nightfall on the 15th, but December the 16th is what the day becomes. So let's go forward from here. I think I showed you this before. We got a clearer copy of this. You can pause your TV and snap a shot of this, and it'll take you. It's a good source of information to help during the tribulation, which is about to happen. All right. In here in Jeremiah, we see that the king sat in the winter house in the 9th month, and there was a fire on the hearth burning before him. This happens at some point in the 9th month. We are now at some point in the 9th month. Just want to point out how God words these things. Yeah, that keeps happening. From December the 8th, when Hannukah begins, until December the 12th at 3 o'clock in the morning, it's actually 3:17 in the morning, is when Beetlejuice is eclipsed by a comet, or it's a comet that's coming through our solar system. It's going to miss Earth, but it'll blot out Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice is the shoulder star, I think it's the 10th brightest star, in the Orion constellation. So it's something, and I think you've heard Steve Fletcher talking about this, is something huge to talk about. So I just did math. It's kind of what I do. I just did math. And from that moment, December the 12th at 3:17, technically, in the morning. Now remember, Jesus rose at 3 o'clock in the morning. So I thought that was pretty telling that this event is going to take place at 3 o'clock in the morning in Israel. This is Israel time now. For us here at Eastern Standard Time, it will still be December the 11th, tomorrow, and it will be 8:17 p.m., 7 hours earlier, when we see this event here on Eastern Standard Time, December the 12th. So I know that Hannukah is an 8-day feast, so I went in 4 days and went back 4 days, and this thing is happening right in the center of Hannukah. I thought that was incredible. From December the 12th, when that comet comes to December the 16th, Hannukah is finished. 4 days and 4 days. I thought that was pretty telling that happened. Remember back here, where'd it go? Oops, right here. Those 8 days. Hannukah begins on Kislev 24 on December the 8th. The middle of the Hannukah, when the flood ends after 40 days, remember God said to Noah, God said after 150 days, and he remembered Noah, and he sent a great wind. This is the moment Jesus gave up the ghost on the cross. At that moment, 150 days after the flood began. But the water, it stopped raining. He floated up there for 150 days before God began receding the water. But he rose up for 40 days and stayed up there for another 110 days until the water began to recede at the cross. That is Kislev 28. You saw the mathematical mistake I made. It's Kislev 28, December the 11th. So, let's go back to where we were. Oh, this is the comment right here. There's going to be a live stream at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember, I told you my time is 8:17. Israel's time is 3:17 in the morning. And you will be able to see this event take place. It's a one-of-a-kind opportunity to see something like this. So, that's when it'll happen. All right. And then I was talking with Spinebreaker, and he said, we started talking back and forth about the movie Beetlejuice, and the release date of Beetlejuice was March 30th. Of course, March 30th is the day that Jesus, his anniversary of going to the cross, in 1988, which that was the year they had that book out called 88 Reasons for 88. So a lot of stuff keeps pointing back to this being an important event. So this is what I posed to several people. What if each watch is a season? What if it's not just a night? What if it is actually a night as well? What if it's a season? What if it's more than that? What if it's deeper than what we thought? So in here it explains in Matthew, in the 4th watch of the night, Jesus went unto them, walking on the sea. When did he do this? He did it in the 4th watch. What's the sea usually represent? It represents the bride of Christ. He's walking on the sea, and the disciples saw him walking on the sea. They're going to see this rapture, and they were troubled, seeing it is a spirit, and they cried out for fear. So, They are going to cry out when this rapture occurs. They are going to be sorely afraid. Men's hearts will fail them for fear. This happens in the fourth watch. When does the fourth watch begin, you ask? Well, I'm getting to that. So this was I did this, I think this is in my Discord where I posed this. I think each watch is a season. And now each season, remember, there's 365 days in a year. But Enoch shows 364, so we have this extra day problem that I've always ran into. And so that would mean that each season lasts 91 days. Because 91 times 4 is 364, and then you add an extra day for the 365. So from March 17th, the head of the year, New Year's Day, and you add 91 days, the first watch, and that comes to June the 16th. Which happens to be, I wrote Pentecost on there, but I was wrong. It's not Pentecost. This is the day, hold on a second. This is the day that Noah saw the tops of the mountains. This is 75 days after Nisan 17 when Jesus rose, and 40 days before the 9th of Av, which is Tisha B'Av. So it literally falls on it. It could have fallen anywhere, but it falls on a very important day. All right, so then I go on from June 16th to Pentecost, summer to September the 15th. Now, September the 15th is always the Feast of Trumpets. It never changes. It's always September the 15th. That's the second watch. From trumpets to December the 15th, yes, the last day of Hannukah, the day Adam was removed from the garden. The last day of the third watch. The fourth watch begins on December, well, that's supposed to be December the 16th. The fourth watch begins on December the 16th. And it goes to when? March the 16th. March the 16th, remember, March the 17th is the head of the year. March the 16th marks the last Sabbath of the year. We have 4 seasons, and I think they represent 4 watches. So here we are coming into this time, so it would look like, if we're going to go, like it said here, where Jesus was in the fourth watch, if we are going to go, it would look like it would happen on Tevet 1. Wouldn't it be amazing that we go when Adam was removed? We are brought in on Tevet 1, December the 16th. Wouldn't that line up perfectly that Jesus paid for the sins and we go up as Adam is removed from the garden? We are brought into the garden. All right. Oh, and I showed you here, March the 17th head of the year to June the 16th when Noah removed the covering, 91 days. From March the 17th, 91 and 91 is 182, you land on September the 15th. Feast of Trumpets. March the 17th, 274 days, 91, 91, and 92. We have that extra day. It must occur on September the 15th. Otherwise, after September the 15th, things start to not make sense. So literally, we would have to call Tishri 1 both September the 15th and September the 16th because of the extra day that Gregorian put in the calendar. But anyway, 274 days, 91, 91, and 92. Brings you to where? December the 16th. Again, the last day of Hannukah. And then for a full year, 365 days, we land back on March 16th, the last Sabbath. Whatever day March 16th lands on, that is your Sabbath for the rest of the year. I don't know what day March 16th lands on. I don't think we're going to be here to see it, but I'm curious. How do I get today? There we go. So let's go to March the 16th. Oh, look at there. How convenient. It will land on a Saturday. March the 16th, the next March the 16th will land on a Saturday in 2024. Again, don't think we're going to be here to see that. But wait, there's more. Let me show you some more. Hold on, where's my pictures at? All right. So I printed this out. Of course, I can't print it out. I always take a snapshot of what Sister Sandy sends me, and then up here is where I put the watches. That's the first watch. The second watch, again, should be June 16th, September 15th, 16th, and then from September 16th to December the 16th is the third watch. Look where the fourth watch begins. Jesus would have walked out on that water At the very last second of the third watch, beginning the fourth watch, right there. And that happens on, again, December the 16th, the last day of Hanukkah. All right, let go. And then this just shows you also, if you're looking at a clock, what time these watches are. The third watch, begins at midnight and ends at 3 a.m. Just after 3 a.m. is when the fourth watch begins. Isn't it amazing that this Beetlejuice thing that they're making a huge deal about actually falls 17 minutes after the fourth watch begins? I just found that very telling. I did it again, all the first watch, second watch, third watch, and fourth watch, and you can see that we will be coming just after 3 a.m. in the fourth watch to 6 a.m. That's the fourth watch. I did the math again, still looking at my timeline, which is a day off. It's actually December 16th to December the 8th. Or it would be if you count the next day as the first day, but it's 2,550 days from the end of Hanukkah to the very beginning of Hanukkah, which is, if we're going home on this, it's not a hidden feast. It's a feast of dedication, but it's not one of the seven on the menorah. The menorah itself is the feast of dedication. It is in remembrance of the seven feasts that have already passed. The very next major feast is going to be the day Jesus went to the cross, Passover. That's what the first candle's lit. So all the candles are lit. All seven of them are lit. What are we waiting for? I think we're waiting for a special day for the bride. And it could be now. It could be on the 12th or the 11th, whenever, where is that at? Lost it on my timeline. Whenever God remembers Noah and the flood ends after 40 days. And also that's when the Beetlejuice is eclipsed. October the 6th. What's October the 6th? What do I have this on here? October the 6th is, that's the day that Jesus was circumcised and named. 70 days after, this is the last day of Tabernacles, and it's going to take you to the last day of Hanukkah. Perfect 70 days. You see how things start matching and start lining up numerically perfect. All right, I want to show this to you, and we got to read it carefully. Okay? Earthquake happened somewhere. This is Haggai 2. We're going to go over this another time. And again, the word of the Lord came unto Haggai in the 24th day of the month, saying, what came to Haggai? The word. Speak to Zerubbabel, governor of Judah, saying, I will shake the heavens and the earth, and I will overthrow the throne of kingdoms, and I will. He keeps saying, I will. He's not saying today. He's saying, I'm going to do this. Could this mean 2,000 years into the future or 3,000 years in the future from when this was written? Or could this be that on the 24th day, he's going to do something here very shortly? And I will overthrow the throne of kingdoms, and I will destroy the strength of the kingdoms of the heathen, and I will overthrow the chariots and those that ride in them, and the horses and their riders shall come down, every one by the sword of his brother. In that day, saith the Lord, in that day. What day? Is it the 24th day, or is it the day that he will overthrow? It's the day that he will overthrow. The 24th day is a mile marker. We're almost there. It's going to happen very shortly after this. In that day, saith the Lord of hosts, I will take thee, O Zerubbabel, my servant, the son of Shealtiel, unto the Lord, and I will make thee as a signet, for I have chosen thee, saith the Lord of hosts. Now, Commander Kelly has done an amazing amount of research in this, and he's thinking that we just don't know where the 24th day is. I do. I know where it is. It's the first day of Hanukkah, which has already passed. But if you read this closely, in my opinion, it indicates that it's going to happen very shortly after the 24th. It doesn't say today. The only time it says in this day is down further, and what days he's speaking of? the day I will shake the heavens and I will overthrow the throne. It's not speaking of the day of the 24th. It's coming very shortly. Yes, 2023 is still the date of the rapture. And I'm going to prove that point that I just said by using Noah. The Lord said unto Noah, Come thou and all thy house into the ark, for thee have I seen righteousness before me in this generation. For every clean beast thou shalt take to thee by sevens, and male and female, and of the beasts that are not clean by two, and male and his female. Of fowls of the air by sevens. He keeps going. And then down here in Genesis 7:4 he says, For yet 7 days, and I will cause it to rain upon the earth 40 days and 40 nights. Now there are so many discussions back and forth as to when God actually shut the door and when the rain began, because it appears to contradict itself. But in this day, when he says, here it's very clear, from today, right now, get into the ark, and 7 days from now, I'm going to start flooding the earth. Super clear, right? Well, then we come here. And it came to pass after 7 days now, he's in the ark. He was ordered in there by God. He's sitting in there for 7 days. The door's open. All the animals are loaded. He's just sitting there. And it came to pass after 7 days that the waters of the flood were upon the earth. In the 600th year of Noah's life, in this second month, the 17th day, we have a date now. It comes after 7 days after he was told to get in there, and it came on the second month, the 17th day, which is November 1st. This same day were all the fountains of the deep broken up. When did it happen? It happened on November, I said December 1st, November the 1st. It happened on November the 1st, which is the second month, the 17th day. But then we keep reading. And the rain was upon the earth 40 days and 40 nights. Now read. This is where everybody gets confused, because this is how God speaks. He's looking at this event as a single event. That 7 day period is the same day to him. It's the self same day. In the self same day, that's why the Feast of Hannukah, the Feast of Tabernacles, which one? Feast of Tabernacles. That's why they're 8 days long, because it's the same day in God's eyes. Even though 7 days have passed for us, it's the same day. In the self same day entered Noah and Shem and Ham and Japheth and the sons of Noah and his wife and their 3 wives of his son came into the ark, and it keeps on reading down. That's the day the flood began. I don't know why I didn't copy that. Hold on. I didn't copy that. But that's the day the flood began. In the self-same day that Noah entered, the flood began. But wait a minute. He was told to go in there 7 days earlier. Did it begin raining 7 days earlier? And we're counting from the wrong date? Or is God saying, I told him to go in there on a Tuesday, and the self-same day, the same exact day that I told him to go in there a week ago, is the same day I shut the door and the flood began. You see what I'm saying? I believe that's the same thing that we're seeing here in this passage. I will overthrow. I think he's speaking of a day, the 24th, and I think he's speaking the self-same day, 8 days later, is when all this is going to take place. Read those verses and tell me what you think, that could be a possibility. Now then we have a curveball. This is speaking of the Feast of Tabernacles. The Feast of Tabernacles is 8 days long, but Hannukah mimics Tabernacles because they built the tabernacle again. They were late, so they couldn't do a sacrifice in the tabernacle at that time, so they had to do it. They made a feast on Hannukah, for Hannukah. They say that there's a history story, a story of history that they lit they only had enough oil for 1 day. They lit it. It stayed lit for 8 days. I don't know. Of course, we weren't there, but the Word of God is what we got to look at. But here we have now about the midst of the feast. He's speaking of tabernacles, or is he? Is he speaking of a different tabernacle? Remember, Commander Kelly noticed and discovered that Hannukah is actually the Feast of Tabernacles. It's actually the time they dedicated the temple. And Jesus goes down to this temple in the midst of the feast. What happens in the midst of the feast of Hannukah? Right in the middle of the feast is when the flood ends. Right smack in the middle on Kislev 28, December the 11th. I think it's 11th. So November the 1st. Oh, I was showing you that if the flood in fact began on November the 1st, like the world is saying it did, you have to go, if you don't go on what the Bible tells you, forget about the sliver and where the sun is and Aries and all that. It's a basic straight count that the Bible tells you that 150 days after the flood began, the water began receding. And that happens at the cross. And 3 days later, the ark rested on Mount Sinai, and that happened at resurrection. So we have November the 1st, and then 3 days later will be April the 2nd, April the 3rd, and that'll also be when Jesus rises, when that ark settled down on Mount Ararat. Let's see here. Okay. All right. So, what do you think? How do I put it? We're in the season. We're in it now, and we're coming up on the midst of it, right when that Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, or whatever they call it, the comet is interrupting the eclipsing it, and it is a part of Orion. And in the Bible, God's talking to Job, saying, can you loose the belt of Orion? And I mean, it's like it's kind of pointing towards it, right? We're looking at this time right now really intently. It has to be 2023. I think that Cool Cat did an amazing study showing that it had to be 23. All of these dates that we're looking at and tearing apart, we're learning so much more. Did anybody know anything about Haggai a month ago? No, I didn't. I happened to and to his credit, he said, Mike, and I was in the Clapper group, and I sent him, I said, hey, take a look at Haggai. This is an exact date, and it appears twice. And he's like, wait a minute, it appears 3 times. And then he studied it and found out it actually it mentioned 7 times. 7 times. That's kind of a big deal. But I'm seeing in that passage that when it says, I will, and then in this day, it appears as though he's going to do something very shortly, within a few days. But on that day is the day that Zerubbabel will get a signet ring, I think is what it says. So tell me what you think. Read through that. The beautiful thing about studying for dates of his return and Commander Kelly, he's done so much amazing stuff. He's impressive. I don't know how else to say it. He's super impressive. And he did you can go back and look at one of his videos where he did a video stating that God wants you to set dates. He wants you to try to figure this out. This is the glory. This glorifies God. This is not an insult. This is a glorifying. He's not the God of confusion, but he's also the guy that's got the present and hands it to the kid, says, keep shaking it, try to figure out what's in there. And you're just welled up with emotion over my grandson out there, over your grandson, just shaking it, going, I don't know what it is. And he's just guessing it's an elephant. I'm like, it's in a box. What are you talking about? It's an elephant. So, he's 7. So, and that's what we are. We're like little children guessing at this thing. He's in heaven laughing right now. He's like, he almost got it. He's so close. He figured that out. Dr. Berry found all the feasts. I put them on a timeline. Cool Cat dug this out. He digs for gold all the time. I wonder if you watched that series. I love that series. I watched all of them too. Where is that? Out in Alaska, was it? I don't remember. I think it was Alaska where they're out there digging for gold and stuff. They found so much gold out there. It was crazy. Gold Digger? I don't remember what it was called. But it was years ago, and I watched that whole thing. It was awesome. But that's what he does when he gets into the Bible. And he's got this unique ability to take a verse and say, oh, I remember reading that verse, 7 books earlier. I'm like, I don't possess that kind of an IQ. I do for numbers, but I certainly don't for that. So anyway, Repo Man 64, go to a quiet place by yourself. Nobody needs to know, and you don't need to tell anybody. If you're going to do it, it's because God's calling you in the first place. If you feel it, if all of this stuff that we're going through were just random and not and irrelevant, all of us, every single watcher that's just tearing this apart. There's a new one out now. Watchman. Oh, his name's Patrick. Sorry, Patrick. I'm just terrible with names. Terrible with YouTube channels. End Time Watchman. Is that it? End Time Watchmen, I think it says. MEN. So anyway, he's doing some really incredible studies. But what's awesome as we go through this, it's like us shaking the present. God's like, it's getting close. It's awesome. You're getting warmer. Oh, you're getting colder. And it's just, I think that there is going to be, for all the watchers, for all those who try to figure it out, for all those who just study what everybody else is putting out, and all those who are just anticipating this day like no other day, I think there's going to be quite the crown given to those folks. And so we'll just, hopefully it happens tonight. I think, is Commander Kelly saying tonight or tomorrow night? I don't recall. But if it does, if it happens tomorrow, that's the Beetlejuice thing. That's the middle of Hannukah. That is that's the end of the 40 days of rain right there, the flood end. So it'd be pretty cool. Right smack in the middle of Hannukah. It's amazing how this all lined up like this. It blows my mind every time I go to a next date. So, but remember, 2023 is the day. It's the year. It's going to happen this year. I can't fathom it's going to go into 2024. I just can't see it happening. But remember, it's 5783 or 5993 until March 16th for me. Everyone else is on March 20th, the equinox, and then they look at the sliver. And then this year goes way out. So, all right. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, and we'll chat with you all again later. And if I don't have audio, That's going to be super upsetting. That happened to God's Land Down Under. He's been trying, he did a video. I guess he loves it. He loves the video he did. It was informative. He wants to upload it, but he's uploaded it like 7 times and no audio. So that keeps happening to us. If there's no audio, I will come in here on a live, play it again like I did last time, and I'll just watch it with you. I'll play it live on the computer, and then I'll watch it with you. So, all right, RepoMan64, chat with you. Never in heaven. Hopefully in heaven. All right. There's a delay between recommending this. Okay. There's a delay between what I'm seeing and what I'm saying. So somebody asked if I could stay on for a few minutes. I can. I do have to work in the morning, but I'll stay on for a few. Does anybody have any questions? I'm looking at, literally the rapture could occur any second. And I believe Commander Kelly has it correct. 2023 is showing us that it's Psalms 123 and that it's got to happen this year. We're just going to keep studying and we're going to keep watching. I got to leave my glasses on because I can't read if I don't have them on. My $3 Walmart glasses so I can see. I don't need glasses otherwise, just to read. All right, what do we got? And I think what I'm asking you is actually delayed, so it's confusing. This is how you do it, God's Land Down Under, is you upload it to the cloud, then you go onto your live program onto your computer. You have to use, what is this thing called? Let me see. OBS. It's a free program. You can download it, and then from there you can go live. You just link it to your YouTube. All right. Yeah, I was in the background clearing my throat. I guess I could hear that. I didn't realize that. You've been raptured if you see my comment disappear. Or Spinebreaker gotcha. $1.50 at the store. Yeah, that's crazy. At least I don't have to pay that big money for those for glasses where I can see far. So what do you think? What do you think about Beetlejuice? You know, over the last 40 years has been, 35 years has been I mean, we've watched a TV program about it. They just said that they're going to make a sequel using the original actor in it, and all of a sudden and they've been talking about Beetlejuice. Looks like it's almost like they know that Beetlejuice already blew up, but whatever happens with Beetlejuice and it blowing up did happen 700 years ago, because it takes that long for light to travel from where Beetlejuice is to here. I actually saw a comment where somebody said that the comet might hit Beetlejuice. We're 700, what is it, 700 light years away. It takes 700 years for that light to get here. This comet's coming through our solar system. Nowhere near. It can't hit it. But it is going to eclipse it. So, could Steve Fletcher? I didn't watch Steve Fletcher's last video, so I don't know. I believe he's been talking about it. It just, to me, it's amazing, always amazing how it lines up on the timeline with this, with, you know, Adam being removed from the garden. Let me see, did I do that right? No, that's the date the flood ends, and that's the date, this very center of Hannukah on my timeline, which is incredible that it lands there. Yep, it's a huge event. It's a huge event because if it happened at some other point, there's a lot of periods of time on the timeline where nothing happens. So, have a beautiful spirit. Thank you. But it's the comet is going to eclipse it. And they're actually calling it, I don't know who coined the phrase, but they're actually calling it the Ring of Fire eclipse, because it's going to last. And I still don't remember if it's going to last 12 minutes or 12 seconds. I don't recall how long it's going to. Maybe somebody in here knows how long that eclipse will last. But it lines up with everything we were looking at as far as the moon eclipse we had, the Ring of Fire moon eclipse. It kind of lines up with that too. Look at the New Living Translation of Haggai 2. Okay. Let me write that down. New Living. Where did it go? I lost it. Oh, there it is. New Living Translation, Haggai 2. Okay. I'll take a look at that. See what I love that. That's why I love the Discord and the Clapper app over there, and we kind of get our minds together and go through all that stuff and lead each other towards different things, which is exactly what we should be doing. We should all be researching this. We should all be studying this. If I have in here nearly 20,000 subscribers and each of you read, you know, a verse or two, I don't know how many verses are in the Bible, but everyone could literally come back to the table with something that they found, a date or an understanding, and if everyone did this, we'd all work together and try to figure this out. I think we all need to be vested and invested in trying to figure out when he's coming back. Honestly, I think that when Kelly did that video on, and he proved it out of the Bible, that researching this and trying to figure this out and coming up with the wrong dates and still going and trying to figure out more dates, and, you know, always trying to get to that date is it's a blessing. It's a blessing, and it's worshiping God while you do it, because you're in His Word trying to figure it out. So many people go to church, never open the Bible. They'll sit there every week, learn absolutely nothing about the Bible. They'll learn all there is to know about tithing, but they won't learn anything about the Bible. We have Commander Kelly. If this rapture doesn't happen soon, he's going to jump off his shed, which is not good. We don't want that. He's part Nephilim, so he's like 6'5" or something. Like, he'd probably just jump over it. But we don't want him spraining his ankle, so he drinks way too much coffee. Way too much coffee. So we'll stick with him. See if he sees what I just saw in there, in that, you know. So I'll look at that though. I feel like it did. I was wondering why it wasn't moving. Let's see here. Let's try to see if there's any questions. We don't want to get into that subject. We don't want to get into... There's several subjects we don't want to get into. They get into them on Commander Kelly's lives, but he's funny about it, so people take it a lot lighter. Yeah, the 1111 sign, he insists that the seals have always been opened, and he's proven it in the Olivet Discourse. He is wrong. He's categorically wrong. We are in heaven to witness the first seal being opened. The Olivet Discourse, he's studied that, and he seems to have proven it to himself, but he started it back at the cross, and it actually is going to start when we're gone. Nothing against Stan. I like Stan in his videos, and he's researching, but I just feel like he is just completely wrong. I know that we're going to be there. It is a pre-tribulational rapture, and we will be there to witness the first seal being opened. The troubles we see on this planet have been going on. They've been going on because Satan's running this thing. It's a mess. And so we have tribulations, but we have not been under the wrath of God, which begins at the first seal being opened. So we will see that event take place. What a correlation do I make? The correlation I make between Beetlejuice and the rapture is that the Beetlejuice could have eclipsed at any moment. It could have happened at any time on this entire calendar, this entire timeline, but it happens right in the center of Hannukah. And right in the center of Hannukah is when God shut the flood down after 40 days. It stops right in the center of Hannukah. 4 days, flood stops, 4 days, end of Hannukah. End of Hannukah, Adam is removed from the garden. So you can't make that kind of stuff happen. So there is it another stepping stone? I don't know. Yes. I'm seeing a lot of facts, not a lot of questions. Yes, the two witnesses and the 144,000 evangelized. Did you see that other? I should have copied that where it's talking about 288,000. I don't know what that one's about, but I hear some tell that there will be 144,000 virgin Jewish males and 144,000 Gentiles there working to bring people into the family, as it were. The Enoch calendar did not begin on March 21st on this spring equinox. That is not true. What he said was the day equalized. If you read that closely and then you go to the Bible, everything has to be verified in the Bible. When Jesus said, "Are there not 12 hours in the day?" The only day that's equalized is not March 21st. That's the day the sun crosses the equator. But it is not the day that it is equalized. The day it is equalized is March 16th. And what's amazing about the March 16th date is it never changes. You can go into time and date right now, put in March 16th in the year 2600, and you will see that there are 12 hours in the day and 12 hours at night. It's the one thing that's constant that never changes. It's solid. The sun will move Go into stellarium, see how far the sun moves in 600 years from now. But time and date, 12 hours a day, 12 hours a night, will always happen on the 16th. It never budges. Yes, March 16th. That is the day of equal parts. That is the day equalized that Enoch was talking about. They associate it with the it crossing the equator. But let me ask you this. If you're in Israel 2,400 years ago and you're looking at the shadow of the sun off of a point, it doesn't care when it goes over the equinox. The equator. It doesn't care. But the day equalized, it will be the shortest point, the shortest shadow of the entire year. They will know, because the very next day, the shadow will begin to get longer. They will know that it's March 16th. This also happens to be the day as more of a verification. We have a day verification, and we have two witnesses. A day verification that using the sun to point the day of equal parts as March 16th. That night we also have the 4-star algenib that will only skirt across the horizon in Israel on March 16th. That's it. It'll only do that. The next night it'll be too high. The day before it'll be too low. They won't be able to see it. The star is called algenib. So we have two witnesses, and that's the witnesses that we're talking about. Then we're talking about two dudes standing on a cliff edge near the fire waiting to see if they could spot the sliver of the new moon. That's not what they were talking about, in my opinion. Let's see. Okay. Old church radio services. He does something. I guess old music? Is that what it is? Old programs, old Bible. Those are the best ones too, are the old ones. I'd never seen that before. That's awesome. I used to listen to that stuff when I was a kid. Yeah, Sister Sandy, that's her website. You can go over there if you'd like. Asked her to tweak this a little bit and turn Tishri 1 into both September 15th and 16th, and then subsequently from there add a day to each one of these Gregorian dates, because it's off by 1 day each time for some reason. It has to be because the Enoch timeline has 364 days and the Gregorian calendar has 365. Did you know there's 24 hours in a day, but they only count 11 hours, 56 minutes, and some change each day, leaving that extra 4 minutes a day. And if you multiply that by 364, there's your extra day and a quarter every single year. I don't know why they do that. Not sure why they wouldn't just count the day as 24 hours, but they don't. Small ministry. You're welcome. Old Church Radio Services. He's in there. Let's see. Hold on. I saw something about the equilux. Do-do-do. Yep, that Michael Keaton. There he is. That's the actor. I couldn't remember his name. Michael Keaton. He's going to redo it. They're going to remake it now. Was it 35 years later? Michael Keaton's going to remake that. He's going to be Beetlejuice again 35 years later and remake Beetlejuice. Hopefully it's as funny as it was then. That was awesome. I enjoyed that. I didn't even know what Beetlejuice was. I had no idea to associate that with that star that's in Orion's shoulder. I guess it's the 10th brightest star out there, or maybe it's just in Orion, I'm not sure. No, there's only one rapture. There's terminology you have to be careful with. What defines a rapture? What defines, let me put this up so I can see the glare off my glasses. That doesn't work, does it? Let me turn this thing down here, hold on. That still doesn't work. Oh well. What defines a rapture? What is a rapture? What's the point of a rapture? The point of a rapture is to pull us out of imminent danger. What is the definition of imminent danger? The definition of imminent danger is the opening of the seals, the wrath of God, not the dangers of this world. This world is very tribulous. There's a lot of tribulation in this world. That has nothing to do with the wrath of God, which begins when he starts opening the seals. Then he opens the trumpets. Then he pours out the bowls. We won't be here for any of that. But then, and during that rapture, everyone who is saved by God and has the Holy Spirit residing in them, the restrainer living within them, will be taken off this planet. Gone. Poof. We're out of here. Anyone left behind who is not saved, everyone who's saved is going. Everyone who's left here is not saved. None of them have trusted fully in the blood of Christ. They have trusted in their works, or they don't even care. There's 8 billion people on this planet. Like, I'm telling you, walk down the street, you aren't going to find anyone that cares. There was a news thing that happened where there was a preacher out on the street preaching, and they shot him. They just shot him in the head. They shot him. He was just preaching the word of God, and they shot him. I mean, I can't even fathom that. And so, once the rapture occurs, and you find that in 1 Thessalonians, is it 4:17? I'm not like Commander Kelly who can recall these verses, but 1 Thessalonians you find the rapture, the catching up. But then after that, I can't manage to get videos. I don't know. God's land down under is still having the same problem. That's why I had to do this tonight live. Because every now and again when I upload a video, and if it doesn't matter how many times I try to re-upload it, the audio won't go with it. I don't know why, but you saw it. You all saw it. There is audio. I just don't know why. You have to download this program that I was telling you about called OBS, and OBS will allow you to share your screen. Once you share your screen, then you can play it. I suppose you could do it on your phone, and on your phone you would download a program to share your screen called Go. Is it Go Record or Y2? No, it's Go Record. Go into Go Record and download your that program, and then you can share your screen so you can do your live on your phone, because you can hear it on your phone. You go into your pictures, it's right there. You play it, you can hear it. All right. Now, after the rapture occurs, the rapture, the definition of it is to rescue us before God's judgment. After that, you read in 2 Thessalonians, and they'll try to split the verse up in 100 different ways, but there's no splitting it up. It's not speaking to the bride. It's speaking to the saints of the tribulation. And it says very clearly, you will see this great falling away. Imagine every Christian on the face of the earth disappearing. Talk about a falling away, an apostasia, a disappearing. And then you will see the man of sin revealed. That's a bad day. That's a bad day. But you find that in 2 Thessalonians. And what's the word that is used there? It is not the same word as caught up. It is called a gathering. So there will be gatherings after the rapture. So one rapture, multiple gatherings. How many? I do not know. Yeah, I don't believe in doing it. It's just the way I am. It's the way God made me. It's not. It's just the way I am. I believe that everyone holds a piece of this puzzle, and it's going to be amazing when we get to heaven and put those pieces together. It's going to be something else. So start researching. Nothing's stopping you from opening the Bible. You could all go into the Discord actually and join up and say, I'm going to read this and see what we find, and there'll be something in there that will tell you. Somebody mentioned that they thought that the sea was wicked. No, the sea, you see it in heaven, and the sea is the people. No, they are misspeaking when they're saying that there is a rapture for the lukewarm church. That is misspeaking. Go into 2 Thessalonians, and it is a gathering. They are gathered. They're going to heaven. They are gathered. But you see them show up. They are a great multitude that no man can count. It's a huge number. But they are given palm branches, and they will have to wash their robes white. Read it in Revelation. They will have to wash their robes white in the blood of the Lamb. The bride goes to heaven, and they get this brilliant white robe, a crown, a mansion, a banquet, a rod of iron. They will be ruling with Christ. This other group that shows up in heaven, again, okay, it's the key to the first sign of the wedding in Nazareth. I haven't read that, so I'm unfamiliar with that. But just think about it. The other group is going to. They are also going. Think, you're standing and the rapture occurs, the ground trembles, this huge noise happens, and all this light disappears, and you're standing there, and you told somebody at some point, when you see me go, and they saw you go, and they knew what happened because you warned them. They didn't listen to you at the right time. They're not a part of the bride. But now a nuclear bomb is coming, because the second that happens, they have to cover it up somehow. A nuclear bomb's on its way. What do? They drop to their knees. They pray to Jesus. Jesus, I'm all out of answers. I thought I had it all figured out, but I'm about to die, and the only place I have left to go is trust in you. And then that's when the magic begins. That's when the gathering is, and they are going to heaven. We're saving people from the lake of fire. We are not saving people from the tribulation. That is not our job, to convert people from what they understand. Your job is the 8 billion people that know nothing about this. They're actually easier to save than the people who think they got it all figured out. The people that know nothing, when they hear you say that, when you see me go, and then they see you go, they're going to be like, no, you're not fooling me. I didn't ever had any faith, but that crazy guy, everything he just said came true, and now he's gone. I watched him go up, and he'll drop to his knees, and his prayer will be more innocent than anyone who thinks they have it all figured out. It'll be, I don't know you. I've never followed you. I didn't even believe you existed until I saw this event. I don't know what to do, how to talk to you, how to pray to you. I don't know anything about you. Please come into my heart and save me. And that would be, honestly, the most beautiful prayer ever. Let's see. I saw the word equilux again. Yeah, he keeps going back to this. I don't know what it is. He keeps tabernacle of the bridegroom. You say that several times, but I don't know what Mazaroth. I don't know where to find that at. Let's see here. Alrighty. Yeah, it has been a hard road to travel. It has been the hardest road to travel. Being a watcher has been the hardest road to travel of all. Being part of the 8 billion that don't believe in anything. Being part of the 8 billion that don't believe in anything. Oh, I have to get off. My daughter has to work. I didn't realize what time it was.
No.
She's got to get it.
She's going to use her laptop.
Is she going to be all right? I didn't know. Sorry.
It's fine. It's just that we couldn't get in.
I didn't know what was going on out there. That Cameron was messing around. My daughter has to do some online work, and the computer was in here, and I always lock the door because my grandson tries to come in. So the hardest path ever has been a watcher and trying to figure this out. Not the ridicule. I don't care about that. That doesn't bother me a bit. Got thick skin. Repoed for a long. I don't repo anymore, but I did it for a long time, and I've heard some neat stuff. So it doesn't bother me. But think about it: 8 billion people, no interest whatsoever. I'm building up my 401k so I can retire, and then I'm gonna go do this. I'm gonna relax doing that, and I got my business. I got all this stuff going, and they don't care. But they'll be the first ones to drop to their knees because they need to hear you say, if you see me go. And then the church, not the church that we're talking about, the people who go to church every day, who have it all figured out. I have approached those people. I say, that this rapture is about to occur. No, it's not. It's not. You can't know that. It says it right there in Matthew 24:36. You can't know that. I'm like, well, it's not what it was referring to. It doesn't say anything about rapture in that verse. Yeah, it does. That's what it means. I'm like, how can you take those liberties with the Bible and accuse the Bible of making that statement in Matthew 24:36 when it clearly is not talking about a rapture. And again, Commander Kelly explained that very clearly, what it was talking about. It wasn't talking about a rapture. And so they're very difficult. And who do you think will be those people who, I think I can see it if I stand back here. Who do you think are going to be those people? That should scare you more than anything. That should scare you more than anything. Is who are going to be those people who say, Lord, Lord, did I not do this for you, for me? Is basically what they're saying. Who do you think those people are? The 8 billion people who have no clue or don't care? They don't care. No, it's going to be the church. Do you want to be a part of that group? Because you're joining when you say you can't figure it out, we're not supposed to know, it could happen 100 years from now, we just don't know, we're not going to watch, we're not going to try to figure it out, we're not going to shake that present, we're not going to store up our piece of the puzzle for our crown, we're not going to do any of that stuff. We're just going to join the 8 billion people that aren't even watching. We're going to associate ourselves with the 8 billion people that aren't even watching or even care. Why? Why? Why would you put yourself with them? You don't want to put yourself with them. Keep yourself separate. Keep yourself searching. And keep trying to find it. Let's see here. I found the first wedding sign using stellarium. I think you'll have to come into Discord and explain that a little bit more, because I don't know how to figure that out here. In Discord, in my room, you could leave that information and I could understand more. It's interesting because you're saying the equinox is on March the 16th and the first day of the year is March the 17th, so I'm interested. I just don't know what sign you're talking about. Let me see. You might be right about that. Let me see. 70 days after Jesus is circumcised and named exactly is December the 15th. And you're saying, I lost it. Hold on. Where did it go? The 8th day of Hannukah, 70 days from the start of the war. Let's see. Yeah, you're right. Jesus was named and circumcised on the date of the war. And it's also 70 days. So that's a good find right there. I like that. That's 70 days after after Jesus was circumcised, after the war began. 70 days later is the last day of Hannukah, which is why all of Hannukah is a very high watch period of time. Let's see, 911 people in here. 911. Let's see, we all need to take care. Okay. I disagree. I think that people who are putting themselves out here researching this, unless it's just plain not biblical, but I think most of them are seriously interested in finding out when Jesus is coming back. There's no glory, no trying to, steal any glory from God. We're just trying to figure it out, and I think they all carry a piece of that puzzle, and I don't want to disassociate myself with anybody who might have a piece of that puzzle. Gina thinks just hours away in my Discord. Hey Gina, can you put a link to the Discord in there? She has a room. Gina and Sandy and several others work so hard. The moderators don't get enough credit, but they work so hard to make certain that the content is, enhancing for people who are seriously trying to find the truth and not get put down for not understanding things that we've known for years. And sometimes that happens is I know something for years and somebody else doesn't know anything at all about it, and there becomes a discussion. There you go, there's the Discord. There becomes a discussion over that, and you clearly have outstudied that person by so much, but you need to take and be more patient with them because they're at a different walk. than you are. Some of this stuff is milk. Some of this stuff is gristle. Not even steak. It's harder than steak. It's gristle. It is. It's hard facts, and it's hard for some people to chew. So not everyone can handle. Not everyone can handle all of this at the same time because they're at a different walk. And there are milk drinking Christians who know only that Jesus Christ is saving them, and they're going to heaven. They're going to be raptured. And it's important that we bring them along to get them to eating solids here as quickly as possible. But in heaven, they'll know the truth. Yes, patience is super important. Super important. I want bristle. Is that hard? I said gristle. Did you say bristle? Is that the same word? Same thing? Maybe it's a colloquialism. Depends on where you're. Is bristle, gristle? Depends on where you're from. Let's see here. Yep, narrow is the gate. This is true. Rapture, I believe, is going to happen very, very soon. There is division. There is one thing in saying, for example, Stan, the 11:11 sign. I love that guy. I think he's brilliant. And I think he really wants to know the truth. And I will say categorically that he's wrong. No seals are opened yet. I'll say that, and I can say that without disrespecting him in any kind of way. I don't believe he's correct about that. But he loves the Lord, and he's searching, and he's going to get a crown for that when he is raptured, because he wants to know. Not understanding, it doesn't say you have to have a full understanding, just that you're watching and seeking and trying to figure it out. And again, some of us are at different stages. There's actually people who think we're already at the end of the 1,000-year millennium. I don't even know how that happens, but there's a lot of people who are just terribly confused. Lieutenant Mike, thank you. You're welcome. Yeah, I got to sit next to you at the table in heaven. I'm not going to be mean to you. You might spit my food. I don't want that. So you're all my friends. We're all going to get along. But we're all going to know. I'm going to get there, and God's going to be like, are you insane? It didn't start on March 16th. It started here. And I'm going to be like, how do you figure? And he's going to be like, well, first of all, I'm God. But you know how that's going to go down is we're going to have questions, and we're going to be set straight, and we're going to be, of course, in heaven with our minds wide open. Our IQs will be through the roof comparative to now, and we will have full understanding. Probably not all knowing, I'm sure not that, but we will have full understanding of what just happened and what we need to know, and it's going to be quite the day. Yeah, what did I say? Did I say I think 8:17 tomorrow evening is when that eclipse of Beetlejuice happens, and it also just happens to be tomorrow, the very center. I mean, right smack in the center of Hannukah, which is incredible. And then we have a lot of people making the claim that Jesus was conceived on Hannukah. He was not. He was conceived on Christmas Day. You must count 40 weeks. And if you count 40 weeks from Hannukah, right now, say Hannukah, let's just say that, for example, December the 7th, December the 8th, put into your phones, time and date, is it time calculator, I forget what you call it, and just put in 40 weeks and see what date you come up with. You're going to come up with September the 11th. But there's no 8th day after September the 11th. Nothing happens. He needs a day to be circumcised, and that's why there's two tabernacles. We are in Hannukah now, but he was born on tabernacles and was circumcised on the great 8th day on tabernacles as well. This very same day, the self same day, like I showed you before. So he had to have been conceived on Christmas Day. 40 weeks later, he was born on September the 30th, which is Tishri 15, which is the first day of Tabernacles. It's the only one that fits. I tried to make his birth fit everywhere. I mean, well, I cared because I want to know the truth, but I didn't care where it landed, but it had to fit. And he must be circumcised on the 8th day, and the only day that fits is Christmas. Now, a cool thing I heard, I think Dr. Barry said this, is that Hannukah moves around with their moon. And in that year, when Jesus was conceived, not only was it December the 25th, Christmas Day, it was also the first day of Hannukah. And I believe next year Hannukah moves again to land on that, which is cool because now you go around the whole calendar and you wind up with my timeline being accurate again around Tabernacles, if they're adhering to Jesus' 40 weeks for development as a baby. So let's see here. He was conceived on Christmas Day. John leapt in the womb when she went to see him. He was born 3 months after John the Baptist. He was born 6 months. No, he was born 3 months after John. She was 6 months pregnant. She hid herself for 5 months. It's not telling us what month they're in. It's just that she hid herself for 5 months. And in the 6th month of her pregnancy, not the 6th month on the calendar, in her 6th month of pregnancy, Mary went to see her. I did the math on the distance it took from where she was to where her cousin Elizabeth was. It would have taken her 7 days to make that trip. She was brand new pregnant, so she wasn't inhibited in any kind of way to make the trip. But on a donkey, walking down a path, it would have taken her 7 days to get there. So that would mean that she saw her cousin John leapt in the womb on New Year's Day. And then 3 months later, from the time she conceived, on Christmas Day, 3 months later exactly, you will come to John being born on March 30th, the day Jesus went to the cross. You see how it all lines up. It doesn't jump and jarble around with the moon. I just find it, I don't want to be mean. It's kind of irresponsible to use the moon because if you say the flood happened, I don't care what day you pick the flood to happen, you have to go 150 days and it has to land on the cross. But inevitably, when you do the math of what the world says the flood happened and you go 150 days, you never land on the cross. This year we said the flood happened on October 31st. The Hebrews, the Jewish calendar, said it happened on October the 31st. If you count 150 days, you land on March 30th. But I Googled it because Google's the best source of information. They're not going to celebrate Passover until April 23rd, 3 weeks and 2 days later. 23 days too late. I don't see how they can do that. That means that when the Bible tells us that 150 days after the flood started, you have to add 23 days somehow, and it doesn't fit. It doesn't match. So no moons. No moons whatsoever. Moon is there for blood moons and for what we're about to see. That's the purpose of the moon. It is a warning. It's a harbinger. Things to come. The sliver, the hidden day, the day that the two witnesses and what they were looking for, they were not looking. The two witnesses are during the daytime. You can see that it's a day of equal parts, and at nighttime you can see Algenib skirting across the horizon in Israel. You have your two witnesses right there. They're not human witnesses. They are the earth and its position as witnesses. Where do you go to this old church radio service? Is this a YouTube channel? The old church radio service. Where did it go? It was he retracted it. Is that on YouTube? He's on here quite a bit. I was just wondering. That might be cool to listen to some old Christian music instead of the new stuff. Let's see. Where do we hear it at? Where do you go? Is this like a website, or is this a YouTube? It doesn't really tell us where to go to hear it. The old church radio service. Yes, the rapture is very, very close. I know, right? I'm still seeing 11:11 as well. What is that? I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's when tribulation starts. And I have the 11th month and 11th day is right around Purim, so it falls right around Purim, 11:11. Let's see here. Well, I guess I better get off of here. And my daughter had to work, but she took the computer out there. But I see her charger's in here, and she's going to be knocking on the door any second. So I really appreciate everybody coming in here and listening. And God bless everyone, and keep watching. If you have anything, come into the Discord and share it. And let's try to figure this out together. See what's going on. So, alrighty. We will chat with you all again later.